Hey everyone, this is Jennifer Sanchez. You are listening to the Wise Coffee Chat Show on WRMN 1410 and all the social media channels. You can find me at Wise Jennifer Sanchez on Instagram and TikTok. Super excited to be here this morning for everyone that's watching, especially for the guest that I have this morning. But before we go into our guest, you can learn more about WRMN 1410 by going to WRMN1410.com. As well as you can learn more about me, go to wisealliancenetwork.com. And then who am I? Jennifer Sanchez, the founder of Wise Alliance Network, and newest published author of Wise Women Empower Women. So you guys can find that book on Amazon and read all the great stories there of women who overcome tribulations through their faith. So that's why, and a mom of three beautiful girls and a real estate investor. So that is me. Now I'm gonna pass it over to my guest, who I'm excited to have here. Can you introduce yourself, Dr. Ali?
Yes, my name is Dr. Syed Ali. I'm a retired psychiatrist. I retired about 4 years ago after practicing for more than 40 years. And thank you so much, Jennifer, for having me over here. I got also a hobby of mine was real estate. So I got my real estate license about 15 years ago. Now I'm more into private money lending with Mastery, with Andrew Holmes' Mastery program.
Yeah. No, and I know that you are a big leader in that community. I know a lot of people, well respected. I consider you one of my mentors in that community because I've learned so much about real estate. You've seen me grow since I started there
Definitely.
in 22. It was 22 when I started Mastery. So I'm excited to have you here because I know you have so much knowledge and wealth of information, and just wanted to learn more a little bit about you. So just tell us, I know you're also a psychiatrist,
Yes.
right?
Retired.
Retired.
Yes.
Retired.
Yeah, because you see, psychiatrists also get to be of an age where their mind starts slowing down a little bit.
Oh, a little. I don't think you slowed down, Dr. Ali.
So I had to retire, but there are other things that I also wanted to do that I was not able to do when you're actively practicing.
Yeah. So you also, I know you and your wife are very involved in the real estate community. Also your sons, both your sons.
Yes.
So it's kind of become also like a family
Yes.
experience, right? How is that going?
It was not intended that way. They just sort of saw what was going on around in the house with me and the people that I was interacting with. So that's what drew them into also getting involved in real estate investments and things like that.
And your wife is also, if I'm not mistaken, is she retired psychiatrist?
Yes, she is.
And also a psychiatrist as well.
Yes, she is. And we both feel that she feels that I was incurable.
Really?
Yes.
That's what she thought.
So we have had a good relationship. We've been married for about 42 years, actually.
Wow. How was it being married to another psychiatrist in the house?
Well, the thing
or
is,
how is it?
I knew you might ask that question, and I was prepared for about an 8-hour
Answer?
session.
Okay. Well, we don't have 8 hours. We only have 1 or 24 minutes.
Okay. No, first of all, it was, I have been very, very blessed, I should say, because we did not really discuss much about, first of all, our patients. Or everything is very confidential, as you know.
Of course.
But we learned a lot from each other. We would discuss sometimes problems with each other from a professional point of view. But otherwise, we would try to maintain our own non-professional lifestyle.
Yeah. So what led you, before we go into the real estate side, what led you going into psychiatry? Why did you choose that profession?
Right. So from very beginning, as I was going through medical school, I was really interested in the way the mind works.
Okay.
From a very biological perspective. So when I came over here to Chicago, I initially worked at Cook County Hospital in neurology. It had nothing to do with psychiatry.
Okay.
And then subsequently, I realized that I was more interested in psychiatry because I wanted to find out and wanted to help people who were suffering from depression, anxiety, challenges in their lives. So I found that to be a little bit more, let's say, rewarding. Not that neurology is not a great field. So that's why I gravitated towards psychiatry.
Psychiatry. How do you feel about how I feel like nowadays there's more depression, or it's more spoken of, or everyone's more talking about mental health. Since you've been in the profession for so many years dealing with that, what are your thoughts on this?
Well, first of all, you see, I commend those people who accept the fact that they have a problem.
Okay.
I suffer from a condition called myasthenia gravis, which I got about 10 years ago. If I were not to accept that, I would not want to seek treatment. How would I realize? So if I want to be more happier, if I want to be more successful, I have to understand my limitations first, you see. And then recognizing that, I can become stronger. Awareness, exactly. And acceptance.
And acceptance. And I think that is like I think they say awareness is half the battle.
That is absolutely correct. I would agree with that.
Yeah. So you worked at Cook County Hospital, and then you started working more with depression and anxiety. Now, how did you fall into the real estate realm?
Okay, so the real estate thing came around. What happened was that in 1991, my wife and I, she was interested in going into a different house.
Okay.
So we looked for houses around in the area, and she felt that they were not meeting her expectations. Mm-hmm. So she decided that maybe we could build a house. Mm-hmm. So at that point in time, we worked with an architect. And it took about almost 8 to 10 months to draw up all the plans. Then when I went for bids, the bids were coming much more higher than what I anticipated. Okay. At that point in time, I formed a corporation, a company, which was a builder's company, you might say. And its claim to fame has been that it's only built one house. And that is my own house, which I built.
Oh, wow.
And so, but the issue was that I got a lot of experience out of it. I tried to understand what it means. How do the people work over there? So they came to be like family to me, you see. And then subsequently, after that, then came this situation of the 2008
crash
and all that. Mm-hmm. I had been involved in a development with another gentleman, and that because of this mostly. It was not something that I was able to fully comprehend, understand why this happened, what was going on. So at that point in time, I decided to become a realtor, actually, or not a realtor in the sense of selling properties for other people or buying for them, but just to understand the whole system of what real estate investment is about.
Yeah.
So I got my license, and since then, I did acquire some properties, then I subsequently sold them out, and now I'm just simply involved in lending. But it has been extremely helpful to me, because then I can put myself in the shoes of my borrowers, in the shoes of other investors, of other realtors, and so on.
Yeah, I can imagine that's really important, because if you don't understand the business and you don't understand what it takes to be an investor or flip or rehab, you're probably you're just lending money, but you don't know, you can get overwhelmed. You can't even guide your borrower, right? I know you're very hands-on with your borrowers. Am I correct?
You're absolutely correct. Actually, just like for a physician, the patients teach the physician how to become a doctor rather than the book itself, you see. It's that experience. So similarly, with the issue of private money lending, I've been very blessed, and I've not had any problems. And actually, I owe that to my borrowers, basically. And wow. Each of them is like family to me.
Yeah, yeah. No, I remember when we went for breakfast maybe about 3 years ago, I think it was, and you kind of sat me down and you were like, Jennifer, this is what you need to do. And I remember thinking to myself, like, oh my God, how am I going to do this, right? I didn't even have anything yet. But I do remember that was one thing that I really appreciated, because you definitely helped me figure out my path in the real estate side world, and even how to carry myself in the real estate world.
I think you had the making of it, and I was just simply showing you the goal there. That was all.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. So with the real estate side, you're a lender now, so you sold your properties. Now you only lend in the community. But how involved are you in the real estate community? I know you're part of Mastery, which I'm also part of it.
Yes.
So how involved are you there?
Well, I belong to an organization called American Association of Private Lenders.
Okay.
It's called Apple, and I'm not that I'm very active there, but I certainly find myself using a lot of their information. And secondly, I go to the different programs Andrew presents, the 3-day programs and all that,
Yeah.
and just networking with people.
Yeah.
You know, most of my work is actually not visiting the sites, rather than now it's more the desktop. On the desk,
Behind the computer, behind the screen.
behind the screens.
Nice.
But I would say that when I'm lending, I always want to see the property,
Yeah.
and I always like to have the home inspector over there to be able to guide me, give me some information
Sure.
about it.
Sure.
Exactly.
So with doing the real estate, when you were doing your own properties, how was that experience for you?
Well, it taught me a lot again. And at that time, it was actually closer to 2008. So it was like 2010, 2009, 2010 type of thing.
Yeah.
And at that time, one could get foreclosure properties,
Yeah.
those types of things.
I remember
Distressed properties
there
and
was
all
a
that.
lot of distressed properties
Exactly.
during that time.
Exactly. So,
Oh, so and then did you hire contractors yourself?
I did.
Okay.
I did actually. But, also because I was practicing, I really had to do justice to my practice. Had I not been able to get a good team with me, I would never do that because I would not have the time to, oversee that. And
Sure.
so it was just that type of thing.
Sure. It's important. How important is it for someone that's getting into real estate to have the right team?
It's very critical, extremely critical. It's almost the analogy, the example that I would use is that if you have a boat, it is better for you to think that you're rowing with the rest of them rather than thinking that you're the captain, you see. And when you row with them, then you also realize what are their challenges and difficulties, you see.
Oh, really? That's a good. I never thought about that. Yeah. So if you think that you're the captain, you're not really going to know what the problems are.
Exactly. Very true.
I like that analogy. So now, how has the journey been? Because I know your sons, right? Especially
Hassan or Assad?
Assad. Yeah,
Yes.
we play poker. Like we
Oh,
played
really?
poker together, right?
My sympathies.
Yeah. You
For-
said I know. I took his money.
Oh, you did? You did
So
take
yeah,
his
I
money.
did tell
Okay.
him.
Oh, my God. Well,
But they're also very involved in real estate,
Yes.
right? How has it been you as a father kind of watching them do their thing? I mean, I'm sure you're very proud because a lot of us in the real estate community that we're in, we have kids, smaller, right?
Yes,
And
yes.
your children are adults.
Yes.
How has it been to watch them grow into what they're doing?
Well, I've been very happy, pleased, blessed, and I let them go. I let them experience, you see. A lot of knowledge that we have is not necessarily through the education or through what our parents told us, but what we discovered in the world, you see. And that without that type of knowledge, it's very difficult to be very successful, in my opinion. So one of my sons was buying a property, and recently, almost about a year and a half ago or so, I did not go to see that property. I wanted this to be completely his own venture, you see. Fortunately, it turned out to be as good as I expected.
Good.
But I was not part of the decision-making process, you see.
That's awesome. So you let them do, especially for parents, sometimes it's hard to let your children experience life or do what they have to do and just kind of let them take flight. Sometimes, at least for me, I only can speak for myself. I know with an 18-year-old daughter, it's kind of like I still want to hold her down, instead of just letting her do what she has to do and figure herself out as an adult.
It is a difficult job a difficult expectation from a parent to let go.
Yeah.
It's not easy.
Oh,
Particularly
absolutely.
if you have a daughter of all things. And I don't have a daughter. I just have a 12-pound Shih Tzu dog, who's the most spoiled dog in this world.
Shih Tzus are very spoiled, actually. Now that I have a Shih Tzu and he is so spoiled. He's He's one though, 1 year old little
She's
one.
got killer eyes, actually.
Your dog?
Yes. So
Ve-
she will melt your heart in a minute.
Oh, that's so
All those
nice.
things.
So how has it been also now with your wife, right, in real estate? Because she's also involved. Is she hands-on or is she kind of more behind the scenes?
She actually is becoming more and more involved because she has other interests too, meeting a lot of people, helping people who have had mental illnesses and so on, getting involved. She also gets to chat about on different mental health topics, different
Yeah.
communities and so on.
Do you,
So, yeah.
do you guys find yourself always like coaching or always like kind of getting into psychiatry mode with who you're helping?
Actually, after a period of time, it becomes like second nature.
Okay.
It is not like work. It is. It sort of becomes a part of you. You think that way, and you try to understand
Yeah.
what is going on over here.
Yeah, which I think is important. I think that's what's really critical, especially I think in the industry of real estate, because the real estate side I think is really stressful.
I would agree with that.
I mean,
Absolutely.
highly stressful.
Yes.
I've never experienced so much stress in my life.
Yes.
I would say one of the most stressful industries I've been in. I don't know what are your thoughts
I would
on
agree with that actually, and I have had my. I mean, I'm not being a psychiatrist does not make me superhuman or anything of the sort. I'm
Yeah.
still
that.
the same
Human.
as you and everybody else around.
Yeah.
So, but it certainly helps to understand how people think and how people behave, and so that is why the things that have helped me in this respect, in dealing with my own stress, you might say, or my own anxiety, is to have backup plans,
Okay.
is to have team approach, is to try to learn as much as possible about a particular area that you're trying to focus on, and trying to be humble enough to understand how other people are failing, how other people are becoming successful, and not to assume that you know everything. I mean, that would be a very disastrous type of thing.
Sure.
you
Sure.
know. Yeah.
Now, curiosity, especially since you lend and you're always dealing with different personalities, right? Because private money lending is different than like going to a bank,
Yes.
right? It's you that you are the lender. You
That
are
is
lender.
correct.
So then how do you make your decision, or what's your underwriting process when choosing someone to lend? Because that means that you're putting your faith in a person for
Yes.
all your hard earned money.
True.
What's a good candidate for someone to get private money?
So that is why I was asking you if you had 8 hours today to be interviewed. So in any event, I'll try to summarize it. First of all, I want to recognize two gurus of mine, Mr. Andrew Holmes, and the other is Rahul Vissal, due to whom I have been able to come where I am at today. The whole journey begins with understanding. First of all, there are two areas that you have to really look at very carefully. One is the borrower, and the other is the property.
Okay.
And each of them are important pieces of, let's say, the whole strategy. So therefore, let's talk about the borrower for a minute.
Okay.
So the borrower, what we are looking for is, the basic issue is, can they go to the exit strategy? Can they achieve the goal? If I'm putting my money in over there, what are my risks that I'm taking? Because it can be very risky.
Absolutely.
So we have to look at what their experience has been, not just in real estate construction and all that. Do they have a team? Do they understand the rules that we have in Mastery program? Will they treat my money as if it was their money?
Oh, that's a good one.
You see, and how good are they in communication? If I text them, are they going to take a day to answer my text, or are they going to answer me in about 5 minutes? There are so many things. You see, reading the room is extremely helpful because there is a lot said even without the spoken word. You understand by the way they connect with you, conduct themselves, their track record, and so on and so forth. How they maintain their finances, you see. Now, if somebody has a low credit score, it's not that that person may be a bad person, but certainly the fact that the credit score can impact
Sure.
on their borrowing capacity,
Absolutely.
at least that knowledge is an important knowledge that they should have known about that type of thing. And then, of course, the property.
Yeah. Oh, because so I know credit scores are very important in this industry because if you're refinancing and you don't have a good credit score, you can't pull your money out to pay back the private money lender.
Absolutely correct.
So would you work, and this is just curiosity, would you work with someone that has a low credit score but's just looking to do a flip?
I would be open to that, you see. And I have first of all, I've lent to quite a number of people
You have a lot.
who have never gotten a real estate project before. In other words, first timers. But and in that respect, I've also developed a strategy of how to educate them
I love that.
and how to put myself in their shoes and try to tell them that this is what will work and this is what will not work. And if they want to work with me, then we have to have a symbiotic, a two-way relationship. So in that respect, the major issues that I think they would be running into, people for the first time that you're talking about, I think it is the receptivity and their ability to accept what needs to be done. To be really, and that is, I don't know if it's something that can be taught. You have to have it in you. I mean, there are sometimes people who are on the side of the road and are struggling because they can't get their car moving or something like that, and everybody is passing by. So it is just a matter of sensitivity to that issue, and I think those are the ones who become really successful.
Yeah, and what really caught my attention was receptiveness, but also you're paying attention to people texting back and the time that it takes for someone to respond. You want someone that's responsible, that's attentive, and I agree, that makes sense, because if they're going to take care of your money, they're going to want to be responsive to their private money lender, right? Because they know they have a responsibility to you.
Yes.
And of course, now that's a candidate for the lender. What about the property? Like, what do you look for in the signs of a property?
Yes. So the property, let me give you an example of what happened yesterday.
Okay.
So I went to see a property which I'm going to be lending on. And as I was approaching that particular property, I saw 2 houses down another property that had a for sale sign. It was being listed on the MLS, you see. So that would have been a wonderful comp. Now, when we went into this property, I was trying to look at what would be the rehab amount. How will they be able to, they want to flip it. So how will they flip it? Because it's a summer period of time. How much type of rehab work will that need?
Okay.
And yeah.
And let's take a quick short break.
Yes.
And then we'll continue this conversation. But when we come right back, we're going to keep talking about what you look for in a property. So you guys are listening to Wise Coffee Chat, a show on WRMN 1410. Make sure you guys don't touch that dial. We'll be right back. All right, we are back. And if you guys are just tuning in, you are listening to the Wise Coffee Chat Show with Jennifer Sanchez. And also, my guest today, Dr. Ali, who is a retired psychiatrist as well as active private money lender in real estate. And we were just having the conversation about what are the things that he looks for when he's lending, and you mentioned what first as an individual, what are the characteristics or what you look for when you're lending to a person, but then you also started talking about a property. What do you look for in a property? And you were sharing the story, so can you keep elaborating a little bit on the story about the property that you were going to lend on?
Certainly. So the property, you see, has to be such that it meets the numbers. Sometimes there are properties where individuals start a project but are not able to finish it because of the fact that it is needing a large amount of rehab, which they initially did not realize.
Yeah.
Then, of course, there are areas, as Mr. Holmes, as Andrew has said, A, B, and C areas. And so the mere fact that each and every area has its own challenges and its own benefits, you see. A lot of good people live in different types of areas. So it has nothing to do with people, but it has more to do with the economy, with the taxes, with how all of that is going to be affecting the market value of the property, basically.
Well, yeah, and you mentioned, can you, for those that are listening that aren't in real estate, you said the comps. You said there was a comp. What exactly does that mean for those that are not familiar with that?
Yeah, so when we use the word comp, and I should have used the word comparable. So essentially, if somebody is going to do invest in real estate and acquire a property and rehab it and then wanting to sell it, at the time that individual is going to sell the property, it is going to run into some competitiveness because there will be other properties also around that time that may come on the market.
Sure.
So one has to know what is the environment of that particular area in terms of what properties are coming up and at what price. That way, then you can gauge what your price tag should be on your property. That is where the comparables come in. And so we are typically looking for similar properties in very close areas.
Yeah.
So not like if I'm investing in a property in a certain area and I'm looking at a house that is 5 miles away rather than a mile away or half a mile away.
Yeah.
Same bedroom, same bathrooms, that type of thing, you see. Similar profile.
Those comparables are very important
And
in
that
real
affects,
estate.
exactly. That is how also an appraiser may look at a particular property because they also try to compare. The value of the property is determined to a great extent by what is happening around.
Sure. That's really important. And I think also knowing like the taxes in the area, the community that you're buying in, right? How quickly does a property sell in an area, right? I think those are all very important things to think about. Why are you going into this neighborhood? If you're choosing to go into this neighborhood, understand that this neighborhood might be a little bit more difficult than this other neighborhood. Or you might have easier tenants in this neighborhood. So those are all really important. Are those also some things that you look at when it comes to lending?
I do. And I have lent in areas that that have more, the value of the properties may not be as high as the value of properties in other areas, but I've lent in those areas also. Because the important thing for me is, does my borrower have the ability and the capacity to take this project to a successful exit strategy, basically? And so I look at it from that perspective.
Yeah. And that's really, that's key. You also, we want to talk about emotional intelligence. I think a lot of people don't understand how important it is to, when you said you wanted to talk about it, I was like, yes, I love emotional intelligence. Like before we go into like emotional intelligence and real estate, what is emotional intelligence for those that are listening?
Yes. Emotional intelligence is a concept that has become more and more important lately. Previously, intelligence meant that I should be able to solve problems. So if I would be given certain puzzles, or if I am able to um, find some solutions to certain things, that was considered to be intelligence. And then the testing was considered to be IQ. One would see a psychologist, and then they would give certain tests and all that. That type of knowledge, that type of quality and ability was focused upon the individual trying to solve puzzles, problems, and those types of things directly, but not much to do with other human beings around that person. Emotional intelligence is how you interact with the world around you. Are you just standing by the side of the road while other people are suffering? Or are you getting involved with them too, trying to be sensitive to their needs too? In order for you to become successful in business, I think, and I may be wrong, but what I've observed is that people, if they don't take the market's needs into consideration, if they don't respect their clients and follow through, it's a very short-term, course of their business strategy. For a long term, to be in that place, reputation matters. Their word matters.
The word matters, yes.
Exactly, and that type of thing.
Yeah.
So, in my lending situation, it comes in very, very handy to me.
I really can appreciate this conversation because sometimes people think that when you're in business or in any capacity, you deal with people every day.
Yes.
And real estate itself, it's a very social industry. There,
Yes.
you have to network, you have to socialize. Same thing with media. I think everything requires socializing. So if you're not mindful and empathetic or recognize that people have needs or emotions, that you can shoot yourself in the foot. Right?
Absolutely.
Right? Do you have a story or situation you could share where like emotional intelligence played a big role in executing a successful deal?
Yes, a successful deal. I was about to say while I was coming over here.
Oh, okay.
Because I was getting very close to the time that you were going to interview me, and there was a lot of traffic on the road. So I was getting very concerned as to what you might be thinking and what I should be doing about that.
The good thing is I have emotional intelligence. So I was like, it's okay, Dr. Ali. It will happen when it happens.
So that was very helpful that you had the emotional intelligence. And so, no, as far as, for example, you were talking about how that would fit in with the with the type of work in real estate as a lender that I get involved in. So let's say, for example, somebody is texting me or sending me an email.
Okay.
At say 9 o'clock in the evening.
Okay.
And that person wants to borrow from me. That lady or that gentleman has got a property and they want to. Now, I can respond to them the next day. I can take my time in addressing their issue. But I'm trying to put myself in their shoes now. They have reached out to me. What are they going through? They are interested in getting some solutions, some answers. So in that situation, what I typically like to do is that I contact them right away by phone and let them know that, look, I will be more than happy to take a look at whatever they are proposing, whatever their project is about, and then take it up from there. But at least a response, at least some type of
Acknowledgement.
Acknowledgement, you might say. That's absolutely correct.
Emotional intelligence, acknowledgement.
Acknowledgement.
So what does it mean when someone is not acknowledging?
Well, it means that somebody is apathetic, not, I mean, everybody reacts differently to experiences. If it was me, and there have been situations sometimes that a borrower may not even respond to me in the appropriate amount of time. So I have to let them know that, look, my anxiety would go up if I don't hear from you.
I agree.
And that type of thing.
Especially if you have that much money on the
There you
table.
go.
It's like, there's a lot of money here. You should respond.
That's exactly right.
But in a nice way.
Exactly. And a lot of times, I think they have some genuine reasons for not being able to respond. Either it's a medical issue, they have been going on the road or what have you. But at the end of the day, so we sort of work with each other.
Yeah, that's I can appreciate again emotional intelligence. I think it's important to have, and the fact that you're saying this just confirms that like how much more people need to study and look into this, and it really doesn't matter what industry you're in, just have it right and
Yes.
develop it and have an empathetic ear. I try to have always an empathetic ear even to like my students or anyone that I'm working with or anyone that I'm engaging with. I try to always be like, okay, I got to listen from an empathetic ear, right? Because it'll help me become a better, help me serve them better,
Yes.
you know?
So my 100th loan was to the borrower did not approach me.
Oh, okay.
I approached the borrower.
Okay. You haven't approached me. No, I'm just joking. I'm just joking.
I'm approaching you now. So in any event, he was an 18-year-old gentleman who had just graduated from high school. I approached him because it was my 100th loan.
Oh,
And
wow.
I wanted to make a
I
statement.
remember this. Okay.
I wanted to make a statement. I said, this is a guy who wants to make the American dream. And he is going to represent the community that is wanting to come up. And so he taught me a lot. I taught him whatever I knew, and we worked together. And he was very successful.
Very
And
nice.
subsequently, now he has got several properties and everything. We worked with his parents too.
Oh, okay. I think I know who it is. That no, and that's great that you did that, and that you were so intentional about that
Yes.
100th loan. Now I'm just curious because this is the coffee chat show. How do you like to drink your coffee, Dr. Ali?
Well, you know, I'm a tea drinker.
You're a tea drinker.
Only tea drinker.
Really?
I have had only a few sips here because I don't want to become extremely anxious and jittery.
Oh, okay. That makes
Because
sense.
that's what coffee does.
Nice.
So it helps me though to keep my mouth not dry. I mean,
Sure.
it keeps the moisture.
Sure. What kind of tea do you like to drink?
The tea is called Tetley, Tetley.
Okay.
And this is not a commercial for Tetley, by the way.
Okay.
But, you know, caffeinated.
Yeah.
Typically, I mean, whenever you are born in a particular place, it does rub on you.
Yeah.
So I was born in India, grew up in Pakistan, so there a lot of tea is drunk. you know.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I never developed it. Actually, I would have drunk coffee, but it does, it works on me.
Yeah. I remember when I was in college, one of my professors, I believe she was Indian, and she was telling me how they put milk in tea.
Yes,
And
absolutely.
I thought that was new for me. And I've tried it. I was like, oh, this is actually really good.
Check out something called masala
Masala.
chai.
Okay. Oh, I love chai. Okay. Okay. I'm going
So
to try.
masala means they put in some ingredients into it and all that, like
Yeah.
cardamom and all that.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. Okay. I'm going to try. I'm always up for trying new things. So I'm going to try that. So we were talking about, for those that are just tuning in, emotional intelligence and business. We've been talking about real estate. What are the things that you look for? Have you ever had I don't know if this is the right word, scary or intense situation, or have all your borrowers been successful?
Well, the borrowers, I would say not all of them have been successful,
Okay.
but they have been able to pay back my loans
Beautiful.
without my having to do any, adverse, response to them, like foreclosure or anything of the sort. And from that, I have learned a lot. And I hope that they have learned a lot too, you see. That has been, and it's a large list of mistakes and challenges that they have made. It's like going in a jungle, actually. I would give that as an example, not to frighten people from real estate. But if you're not careful, if you don't read what is going on around you, for example, I was lending to a gentleman I think I'm trying to remember which, so it was a particular village in Chicago, a neighborhood in Chicago.
Okay.
And all of a sudden, 3 days before the closing, they said that we are not going to have any rental properties here.
Oh, okay.
So they passed a moratorium on that. Now he had planned everything that would be conducive to a rental property,
Yeah.
you see. Now all of a sudden he has got to change the numbers and everything, you see.
Yeah.
So it is these types of things. It's situations where there may be permits that may get delayed. They may not have anticipated that, you see, or they may not have had a team properly. Somebody gets sick, and so they don't have anybody else to replace the drywaller or somebody who's, the contractors and all that.
Wow.
So there are a whole series of checklists.
I think I think it seems like things can go out of control that are not in your control in real estate.
Absolutely.
Because you're not just dealing with a problem. I mean, you might anticipate a rehab number to be, I don't know, $50K. And then you start breaking walls or opening things up. And then, or an inspector comes in and says, no, I need you to fix $10,000 worth of things.
Very true.
And now that messes your whole budget.
Yes.
And now you're kind of like, oh my God, this is gonna, especially if your numbers are tight.
Yes.
You might be in a whole different situation, right? I mean, or a bad tenant, or something happens in the market, or something doesn't go through. It always seems like something might not go the way you plan it. You can plan it as perfect as possible. Something might always happen.
Yes.
What do you suggest, or what do you advise on things like that?
Well, you see, the important thing to recognize is, let's say if I do not know how to drive a car, for the first time I'm going to sit in the car, I should not be taking that car directly to the highway.
Sure.
I have to first experience what type of challenges I'm going to have.
Sure.
Similarly, in real estate, there are several important things that I think, from my perspective. The first thing is to realize that there is a lot of learning to be done, to be open to it. Secondly, time commitment. I mean, it's not just going to fall from heaven.
No.
You have to be able to understand what you're getting into.
Absolutely.
Thirdly is expectations. If they want to be a millionaire overnight, that's not going to happen. And taking on more stress. People get into working on several properties at the same time, rather than first understanding how the properties need to be handled. So all these are all the factors that can, and importantly, I started out in life with not much. But at the same time, I was fortunate that I was open to learning. Talking about that, I shouldn't say su pelo, the color de la pelo es rubio. Rojo, right? Okay. I started learning Spanish.
Oh, nice.
I'm 78 now, and I started learning Spanish about 2 years ago.
Wow.
I really think that Spanish, everybody in America should speak Spanish also.
I agree.
The reason being, first of all, you can talk to so many people, and if you have grass growing on your property, you can tell the landscaper what not to cut and what to cut.
You could communicate with yes, that is true. And I think landscapers are in the trades, Spanish speaking. They appreciate that.
No, not to insult. I mean, that landscaper has been with me for years. You see. But I owe it to him, actually, to get me involved in Spanish and all that. And it's very easy to learn, by the way.
Is it?
Yeah, because, you have to learn the verbs.
Sure.
AR verbs are the majority.
Yeah.
Then you have ER, then you have IR.
Yeah.
And then everything, like, so for example, completamente, or something like that, right?
Yeah, completamente, yeah. I find me being a native Spanish speaker, even when I go to places, restaurants, when I start speaking Spanish to the staff, they appreciate it so much more. And actually, I think they take care of me even better. They're like, oh, you're one of us. Let me, because there's now, it's an interpersonal skill, right? Now they feel more connected and they want to help more. Yeah. So I think sometimes you got to find how to connect with the people you work with, and which makes sense why you picking up Spanish helps you connect with your team.
Yeah. And it's a wonderful language, I think. I think it's really remarkable if I were able to speak Spanish with people. Although I don't, I wish I could speak Spanish much more slowly.
Yeah. Yeah, because
Because
sometimes it's
everybody
fast.
speaks so slowly.
Yeah, fast. So you also now in the Indian culture,
Yeah.
you speak probably multiple or
Not
no?
particularly. You know,
How?
the language is basically similar to Hindi, Hindi. It's called Urdu, Urdu.
Mhm.
So these types of languages, and then that's basically, and in Spanish is the only, apart from English,
Oh,
that I know,
that's
that I'm trying to learn how to speak. Yeah.
and that's amazing because not a lot of people know multiple languages. When you can know more than one language, it just I think it's part of the intelligence, right? Like I think people with higher IQs have know more languages. I thought I read. I might be wrong, but it's correlated with that, right?
Oh, absolutely. So the two programs I'm using, one is language transfer. That is more of an audio program that you can listen in the car. And the other one is Rosetta Stone. So between these two, I've come this far.
Oh, and you're doing great. I mean, I knew exactly what you were saying when you were talking to me. in
Between
Spanish.
uno and dos, according to my wife, I've been able to understand the difference between the two.
So funny, so funny. So I have a joke with my 18-year-old. My 18-year-old can speak it because of high school and she understands it, and she's probably the most fluent out of all of them. But when she was little, it's hard for me to speak to her in Spanish because I naturally think in English, so it's just a little bit. It takes more effort. So I put her in a Spanish class in her school, and she was like, "Mom, all I learned was sí, no, and mamá." Like I was like, "Really? That's all you learned in this 6-week program?" You know, but you know, it's funny that that's how she even said, "All I know is that." You know, so I thought that was
So
a
a
funny.
friend of mine, I was telling him, well, if you see a lady, just don't say te quiero,
Oh, okay, yeah.
because either she will slap you or, or, or you will be in a very disastrous situation. But you know how these things work, you know.
Yeah.
Like te, for example, represents you, you know.
Yeah.
And so, and then usted also means you.
Yes, and I think usted
lo
usted
also means you.
usted is more proper.
Exactly.
Like you say it properly. So I know you have a podcast that you're planning.
Yeah, I hope so. Very quickly.
and-
These gentlemen over here are going to be,
Yes, they're
they
ready.
have committed themselves.
They are already ready to help you with the podcast. What is it that the podcast that you're thinking of putting out there, and what's it going to be called?
Yeah. So my podcast that I'm thinking of, and this might be, a lot of other people may have done these types of podcasts before. I want to be able to help people become successful, in essence. And what does success mean? Variety of things. How do you deal with adversity? How do you deal with failure? Your self-esteem, and those types of things. And I would like to bring as many guests as possible, starting out with the first guest, who I'm looking at right now.
Oh, thank you. I'll be the first guest on the podcast. I'm excited for that. Thank you so much. And I think you are amazing. And even in my own journey, you've helped me. You know, when I first started going from a divorce, low credit score, just trying to figure out how to build something, you were part of my success journey. So I think that's a great podcast for you.
Kind of you. So kind of you. Thank you.
Thank you. And if anyone wants to get in touch with you, Dr. Ali, where would they get in touch with you? How can they reach out to you and talk to you more?
So I have the probably a good place would be my phone number.
Okay.
Now, let me say, I'm not practicing psychiatry, so I would not be able to help people provide professional opinions, you see,
Sure.
for treatment.
Oh, sure.
But whatever I can respond to them with, whatever help I can give,
Yeah.
you know, I'll be happy to do that. So it's 630
Okay.
630 826 826
826
1503. So 1503
1503. So can we say it all together? 630
826
826
1503.
1503. So there you have it, guys. If you guys want to connect, definitely reach out to Dr. Ali. Thank you so much for being
you.
here with me today. And thank you for everyone. Thank you for the team here. And thank you for the W. Arman team. I appreciate you guys. And thank you so much, everyone else, for watching. Make sure you stay tuned next week. We'll have Joe De La Torre with us. So I'm super excited for that next guest. So thank you so much for your time. God bless you and have a great week.